Greetings, my name is Neosekken, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 5. In the last episode, we began settling into our new home in Okinomiya, as well as trying to stay on top of the flow of information relating to Shion's disappearance to the rest of the Sonozaki main family. And soon after we got settled in, we finally learned from Mion, who we got in touch with in the last episode, eventually, that, Granny knows about Shion's escape from St. Lucia's, and she is not happy about it. Other than all this stuff, as well as getting a part-time job set for Shion, and Shion and Mion catching up with one another over what's happened over the past year or two since she's been away, not much has really happened in the last episode. And we also saw a tip that I unlocked towards the end of the last episode showing the abuse that was going on in the Houjou household towards the Houjou siblings from Satoshi's perspective of all people. And I guess puberty didn't really hit him at that point yet, because his voice ended up being a lot higher than I remembered hearing it in Chapter 3. And I think that's pretty much the gist of everything, honestly. Not a whole lot, honestly, really happened in the last episode as far as big story developments occurred. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and continue. Curious to see how the whole fallout is going to play out. Now that Granny knows that we are free as birds. It's a very quiet afternoon, as always. Since I can't go outside as myself, I have to match schedules with Mion when I go shopping. I've gotten used to it by now, so it's no longer a hassle. Because of this, I naturally have to buy things in bulk. Today I shuttled between shops in my home.
あれは買った、これも買った。ああ、そうだ。今日って100円セールの日じゃなかったっけ？忘れてた。
Being in a good mood, I spun around with my arms spread out. I felt like a little whirlwind. My arm hit a motorcycle parked on the sidewalk. It obviously wasn't where it was supposed to be. Well, this already feels awfully familiar. Cue angry bikers in 3, 2,
もう、何こんなとこに止めてるの誰
？1. I gave it a kick with no hesitation. Oh, come on! Even right down to the kick! There were 3 motorcycles lined up there. Jesus, this is exactly like what happened in Chapter 2 with Keiichi. Oh, dear God. They all felt like dominoes. It was a beautiful sight. This is fun, I thought. You and Keiichi both seem to have a mind for knocking people's motorcycles over. You two are dangerous. Being in such a good mood made me leave my guard down. I didn't realize that the owners of the motorcycles were right nearby. They looked pretty scary. They grabbed me by the neck and dragged me into a dark alley. Oh, shit! Then they called me all kinds of names. Everything was happening too quickly for me to grasp what was going on. Oh no, this alley doesn't look very dark to me. Doesn't look like much of an alley either. Jesus, you even sound like the same mooks that Keiichi ran into in Chapter 2, a year later. Whoa. You can't really talk properly. I think that's not the main issue you should be focusing on right now, Shion. I didn't have a clue what they were saying. I had to translate their alien tongue into normal human words in order to understand. We are very upset because you knocked down our motorcycles. Yeah, no shit! I don't think you really need a translator for that. You should immediately pay for the repair and compensation. Yeah, that was probably it. That's our offer. What do you say? We'd be happy to listen to your opinion. I don't believe that they actually said this bit right here. Something like that? Well, if it's any consolation, I think their spoken language improves in coherency a year later. Somewhat. You shouldn't say that to them. What the hell are you thinking? I know what they're trying to say, but somebody has to warn them about the way they park their motorcycles. I don't think they care, Shion. It wouldn't be fair to those who obey the rules if there were no punishment for those who disobeyed them. Says the girl who just couldn't stand being under the rules so much that she had to flee from her educational institution. Don't give me that shit. This is an accident, but it must also be God's will. But God, you can use me to punish these guys, but how will you compensate me later? He's God! He doesn't have to! I don't think you get how godship works. I heaved a huge sigh. Seriously, I mean, the Greeks are notorious for that. Greek gods are notorious for shit like that. They just did things their way. If you want a good example of what I'm talking about. Of course, I wasn't afraid in this situation at all. Because it wasn't a dangerous one for me. Oh, really? I don't know. I think I think as far as the immediate danger is concerned, you're very much out of your element here. I mean, sure, maybe your family would be willing to make these guys' lives hell or forfeit outright later on, but you might end up being dead anyway, worst case scenario, and it won't really matter for you in the end anyway. These guys were yelling at the top of their lungs at a girl. They didn't look good doing it, and they had too many disadvantages. First, there was the differences in gender and in the number of people. Even if I did something wrong, as men shouting at a woman, it didn't make them look like they were in the right. Add to that, there were 3 of them. It already looked like it was going to get violent. Second, the location. Taking a girl into a dark, narrow alleyway is already a bad idea. And on top of that, they're asking for money, not just an apology. Thanks to these facts, the public will be on my side. Well, I guess it's good for you then that you know how public opinion works in this respect. So this was a fight they couldn't possibly win. The only way for them to win would be to take my money before somebody finds out. Considering that, taking me to this narrow, secluded alleyway might have been a smart move, since fewer people will find out about the situation. No, she's too busy thinking about her situation right now. I knew how slim their chances of winning were. From the very beginning, they had picked the wrong girl. I'm Mion Sonozaki now. It'd be foolish to mug her in Okinomiya. How do you even know that they know who you are? Soon enough, the people of Hinamizawa would notice me and gather around. They don't spare mercy for their enemies, no matter what. The punks didn't know this area well. If they did, they'd have known how silly it was to rob Mion. Plus, the alleyway isn't always as empty as they assumed. The side street is a shortcut which local people frequently use on their way home. In the late afternoon, many people will be passing through here. The time had almost arrived. If I held out a little longer, the street would soon be filled with people. then the punks would have to go away. I didn't have to do anything. I just had to wait in order to win. This was a simple fight like that. While they could hurl abusive language at me or lift me up by my collar, they weren't actually going to resort to violence. You know that for a fact? Cheers to the educational system for ingraining the ladies first mindset. You really don't think that everybody's gonna follow that mindset, do you? But as a wicked person, I wanted to toy with them a bit, even though I could win this by waiting. You're just really pushing your luck at this point. I wanted to paint them as even more villainous, and drive them into a corner that would be even harder to talk their way out of. That demonic desire was rearing its horns. To put it plainly, I only need to act as the poor, helpless victim a little further. Like the pathetic, pitiful, tragic heroine everyone wants to sympathize with. In a case like this, I shouldn't start crying immediately, because I'd get nervous and draw back. You really are devious. You certainly do have the mindset to carry out your murders 1 year later. If it were a truly threatening situation, that would work, but I needed something different here. I'd pretend to be strong at first. In fact, I thought, why don't I challenge them? And eventually I'd start trembling. My voice would fade, and I'd get tears in my eyes. It'd even be better if I played the role of a strong girl who's slowly given into fear. Mion and I are probably the only ones who are capable of pulling that kind of stuff off. Well, I'm probably better than her.
そんなにしつこく言わなくてもいいでしょ。悪かったって言ってるじゃないですか。
I talked back with a little hesitation. Am I getting tears yet? Yes! By the way, I've heard men can't shed tears on command. I don't think a lot of people can shed tears on command, as far as I'm aware. Male or no. I feel sorry for them. The three punks faltered a bit due to my sudden change in attitude, but they soon started yelling at me again. I had to keep it going. The way they blatantly looked like they were picking on a helpless girl.
もう許してください。
なんだよこら。さっきまでの伊勢はどこ行ったんだよ、にゃろ。
そんなのだって
そんな今頃泣くくれえなら調子くれてんじゃねえんだよ、たくよ。
It looked like they were laying off a bit. Did I overdo it a little? It'd be boring if they let me go now. At that moment. What? Well, well, well. Look who it is.
もう泣いているじゃないか。やめてやれ。
Well, you're a brave little man. Trying to take on these guys. A boy around my age appeared. He was skinny. He looked weak. He looked younger than he probably was. He also looked smart. He bravely glared at the punks.
なんだなこの野郎。足んねえことしてった邪魔するな。
The punks turned away from me to face the boy instead. The boy looked a bit agitated when the punks started yelling at him. They sure were ruthless. You'd know, wouldn't you? But the boy must have known that from the beginning. He must have known that he was going into a dangerous situation, yet he didn't hesitate.
黙ってたらわからんがな。返事せんか返事。
He must have wanted to shout back at them. But he probably never used that kind of language in his life, so he couldn't have expressed his feelings out loud. He might have not even known what to say. I know what you should say. Up yours! Just 2 words. Then get them to fly into a rage, and then use your judo skills on them. If you had any, which I doubt you do. So he just kept glaring at them, to let them know that he wasn't going anywhere. The 3 punks, though, might have thought he was just lost for words in his fear. But I knew different. Oh, really? The boy was overpowering them with nothing but his will. The punks were losing. You sure about that? So they resorted to violence. They grabbed him and knocked him down. They hit, kicked, and tossed him around. It looked painful, but I knew. It was his victory. Too bad that victory is probably going to cost him a few medical bills. Or at least some money to get a first aid kit. In the end, local passerby stopped the punks. They made no further fuss and just went away. The boy stood up. He was covered in dust. He smiled when our eyes met, and asked me if I was alright. He didn't look particularly okay himself, though.
あんたもよくもまあ勝てない喧嘩を買う人ですね。次からは勝てる算段がついてから喧嘩を買うことを深くお勧めしますけどね。
Allow me to answer for him, because it was the right thing to do.
最初は迷ったよ。
He laughed, saying that he was watching from the beginning. That meant he had the option to walk away. But instead, he worked up the courage and stepped in.
そういうのは勇気って言わず、万一身の程知らずとも言うかな。
ミオンは口が減らないね。助けてくれてありがとうくらい言ってくれよ。泣いてたじゃないか。
別に泣いてなんかいません。あれはちょっとした演技で。
いいよ、演技でも。
ちょっと信じてないでしょ。私が本当に泣き出すと思いますか？
思わないよ。天下御免の園崎ミオンが不良にいじめられて泣き出したなんて誰も思わないよ。
何を笑ってるんですか？全然信じてないでしょ。私が半泣きなんてするわけない。
信じるから信じるから。
I realized one thing, that you fell in love with him at first sight. I know that you clearly had feelings for him, so at least by the present time. So I'm curious, how exactly is your heart gonna start fluttering for this poor kid? I realized one thing. He must be one of Sis's friends. He didn't seem to realize I'm her twin. He thought I was Mion with a different hairstyle. Mion and I had to live separately since before we went to elementary school. Mion was in Hinamizawa, and I was in Okinomiya. I lived in a totally different environment from her. So it's not strange that people don't know me. Actually, very few people know I exist. I almost told them that I'm not Mion, but I managed to stop myself. Shion shouldn't be here. He's from Hinamizawa. It wouldn't be good if he thought he saw a Mion look-alike in Okinomiya. So, I had to act like Mion. Dealing with him could be more difficult than handling those punks.
でもまあミオンにも少しは女の子らしいところがあったんで安心したよ。
なんだか妙に引っかかる言い方ですけど、つまりはどういう意味です？
Funny you should say that, because Keiichi thought the same thing, and well, at least before I found out who the real culprit was for Chapter 2, I thought that him not being aware of Mion's feminine side ended up causing a lot of doom for everybody. But no. Turns out I was very wrong in that assumption in hindsight.
ミオンのことだからなんだか珍妙な憲法でも使って瞬く間に撃退してしまうんじゃないかって期待してたね。だから泣き出した時は正直驚いた。
だからあれは泣き真似だったって言ってるじゃないですか。さっきから人の話ちゃんと聞いて。
He gently put his hand on top of my head and stroked it as if stroking a kitten. I could remember somebody doing that to me when I was little, but it had been quite a while since somebody stroked my head. I didn't know what to do. Why did it make me so embarrassed? My face reddened all at once. I couldn't say anything.
バカにしてます？ひょっとして。
I stuttered in embarrassment. He looked calm, as if he was used to doing this. Probably had a lot of practice with Satoko.
なんでもいいよ。よかったじゃないか。
よかったって何がです？
無事で。
He smiled while he kept stroking my head. His smile looked divine. He wasn't going to stay for long. He'd already saved me from those guys after all.
じゃあ僕は行かなきゃならないからそろそろ行くね。
あ、うん。
I wanted to go through all the steps of meeting someone for the first time, but he didn't. As far as he was concerned, he just saved a friend from danger and wanted to leave quickly to avoid seeming pretentious. He and Mion must be friends who knew each other well. So I couldn't bring myself to ask, "What's your name?" Mion's friend once again smiled once again. His smile looked as refreshing as a clear blue sky. This time, he smiled a bit mischievously.
安心しなよ。ミオンが泣いてたなんて誰にも言わないから。もっとも言ったところで誰も信じないだろうけどね。天下無双の委員長が泣いてたなんて絶対誰も信じない。
Maybe cry tears, maybe, but cry in anguish, despair, and agitation? Well, Keiichi made her do that plenty of times. He patted the dust off his butt once again. He walked back to the sunny main road, away from the dark alley. Then he turned around.
じゃあまた明日。学校でね。
うん。学校で。
He disappeared into the brightly lit street. I continued to sit in the gloomy alleyway. I could no longer see him. I was just staring absent-mindedly at the bright light. That was the first time I met Satoshi-kun. We got the kun honorific at the end. She's definitely feeling it for him. I'm not even allowed to walk freely under the sun. I met a boy on a sunny day. How come a perverse girl like me fell in love with his innocence. Notebook, page 5.
そりゃあサトシだよ、サトシ。その特徴的な雰囲気と気安く頭を撫でる癖は間違いないね。
Maybe that's where Marika got the head stroking habit from. From this guy. Satoshi's head patting legend lives on!
サトシ君って言うんだ。
The boy from earlier is called Satoshi Houjou-kun. Mion said that he's always daydreaming. Well, I can believe it. I can especially believe it if he daydreams all the time at home, what with his shitty home life. So he didn't believe that he saved me at first. So she didn't believe that he saved me at
普
first.
段はしっかり者の妹にいろいろと尻を叩かれてるな。妹がいるんだ。うん。妹はサトコって言ってね。なかなか面白いやつだよ。なかなか悪知恵が働くしね。そのくせ追い詰められると泣くし。見てて退屈しない子だね。まあ、最近はいろいろとあってね。ちょっと調子を落としてるけど。
Her sister came up naturally in the conversation. His sister, excuse me. I tried to soak up every scrap of information about Satoshi-kun. Why? Why am I trying to ask so much about him? Because clearly he's rubbed off on you. As I asked myself that, the feeling I got when he stroked my head came back to me. I must have been blushing.
もしもしシオン？え？ああ、ごめん。聞いてる聞いてる。そもそもね、サトコがおばと折り合いが悪いらしいんだよね。
You mean, worse terms than usual, right?
サトシは大人だから、その辺はうまく立ち回ってるんだけどさ、サトコは嫌なことがあると素直に表情に出しちゃうからね。
What Sis told me was very interesting. She told me that the parents of Satoshi-kun and his little sister are dead. Satoshi-kun and Satoko are now living with their uncle and aunt. They don't seem like very respectable people. Massive understatement. They're always fighting, and the uncle is cheating on the aunt. Of course. Of course he is. He mostly lives with his Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait, I forgot. He's had a mistress even at this point. How could I forget that? Yeah, point is, yeah. Class act, these two. He mostly lives with his mistress. Satoshi-kun and Satoko entered into that unwelcome environment. What surprises me the most is the fact that Satoshi-kun's parents were the Houjou couple who were the leaders of the pro-dam activists. That fact must have added something to the situation. I don't know what kind of stance the uncle and aunt took during the dam conflict, but they must have taken some indirect blows. They should have taken more, because they're really shitty people. Satoshi's-kun's parents died after bothering him so much, and even left them their children. The aunt, uncle, and aunt obviously can't love those kids. Things have gotten worse this past year, too. Women can be really nasty bullies. Sometimes it doesn't matter who they're bullying, even if it's a kid. On top of that, women tend to care less about propriety than men. As a result, Satoko seems exhausted with it all. I can imagine Satoshi-kun bravely protecting his little sister. Just like when he saved me.
なら、サトシ君も普段は疲れてるってことになるのかな。
I think anybody would be exhausted, frankly.
え？サトコがおばにいじめられるたびに、 きっとサトシ君は妹をかばってると思う。妹が疲れるのと同じくらいサトシ君も疲れてると思うのは私の考えすぎ？
That thought didn't cross your mind, did it, Mion?
どうだろうね。
Had I said something wrong? Mion sounded a bit taken aback. So that meant Mion can't tell how he's feeling. Because he's always wearing that blank look. So she never considered it. How can she be that insensitive even though she's around him all the time? Well, never underestimate an abused person's ability to put on a mask in public. Especially if they feel like they kind of have to in order to reduce the amount of potential harm that could come their way. I was amazed to realize that.
まあそんな話はいいや。で、彼は普段はどんなことをしてるの？
Baseball!
文系みたいだから読書とか好きなわけ？想像に漏れずに普段は読書して過ごしてるよ。
He likes to read about baseball!
最近読んでる本はね、なんて言ったかな。
Baseball for dummies. I continued asking about him. About what he likes, dislikes, and what he thinks about. I asked Sis all these questions because I wanted to know more about him. It was the first time I'd ever been interested in somebody. I didn't want to admit that I had feelings like that. Did I fall in love just because of a stroke on the head? Am I stupid or what? Maybe Satoshi just has a magic touch. When I remember the feeling of his hand on my head, my heart feels tingly. I tried doing it myself, but it didn't feel the same. That's because you only have the murderous touch. I'm stupid. No, just homicidal. Or at least you will be. What am I doing, stroking my own head?
おねえ、私もうダメだ。バカになっちゃった。え？何を突然。気色悪い声で笑い出して。おねえにはわかるまい、この気持ち。
She'll come to understand it later, believe me. When would I see him again? I felt as if my suffocating life had finally grown brighter. The life I lived really was beginning to suffocate me. I couldn't go out freely, and I always had to make arrangements with Mion before going to work. I thought my life would improve after escaping from the school, but in reality it wasn't that easy. It's not healthy to live like this for too long. Without any friends to hang out with, I felt like I was hibernating. I started to feel the dangers of falling into boredom. All I could think of was Satoshi Houjou-kun's face. Honestly, I can picture you just stealthily taking a picture of his mug and then putting the picture of it on your ceiling to stare out at night. I'd only met him briefly, but my encounter with him had a great impact on my new life. I felt like something exciting was going to happen. Really, I was hyped up like a little kid. The more I thought about it, I realized I'd been thinking about him a lot lately. This might be a crush. I felt a little ridiculous idolizing him in such a romantic way, though. Then, out of the blue, I got a chance to see him again. Lucky you.
あれ？
I saw a familiar face at twilight in the park. He was sitting on the swing. He looked like he was zoning out, or maybe deep in thought. He didn't notice me, even though I was right in front of him. I reminded myself to speak and act like Mion before talking to him.
Hey! 何やってんのこんなとこでさ。
ミオンか。
You don't look particularly happy right now, Satoshi. Your aunt being a massive bitch again?
びっくりしたな。
そんなに驚いてるようには見えないけどね。さっきからいたんだけど、ずっと気づかなかった？
そうなのかい？
You really were zoning out then.
ごめん、気づかなかったよ。
He smiled self-derisively and shrugged. He looked depressed, like something was troubling him.
何か悩み事でも？聞いて楽になるものなら聞くし、力になれるものなら惜しまないけど。
いや、別に。
私はサトシ君には一個借りがあるからね。それとも何？おじさんじゃ力になれないと思ってるわけ？見くびられたもんだな。
別に。ミオンの力を借りたら意味がないことだからさ。
No, she doesn't have to help you out, but really though, she should.
ほう。それは何？つまり、私ごとき女の手は借りたくないってこと？
Thinking him unfair, I puffed up my cheeks in a sulky gesture. Satoshi-kun noticed that and smiled.
違うんだよ、ミオン。僕に実力がなくて、ここ一番で打てなかったってだけのことなんだよ。
Your aunt probably telepathically sent a signal or something into your head right at that moment. She just somehow knew that you were about to swing right at that moment, and she felt like being a massive bitch and decided to just screw with your swing. Because, well, reasons. I don't know. I just hate your aunt. And your uncle. I mentally rifled through all the information about Satoshi-kun that Sis had given me. He doesn't look like much of an athlete, but apparently Satoshi-kun belongs to a junior baseball team. They're called the Hinamizawa Fighters. I doubt he's very skilled, since I didn't hear much about his contributions to the team. Maybe that's why he doesn't tell many people that he's a member. Given how he felt as a result of messing up, though, he must be fairly dedicated. I deduced all that from what Sis told me, and carefully chose my words so as to sound like her.
なんだ、そんなことで落ち込んでるわけ？
そんなことでって簡単に言ってくれるな、ミオンは。
I pat his back while chuckling. Satoshi-kun would probably call me insensitive. I knew I should listen to him rather than trying to cheer him up. Acting like Sis was probably the wrong thing to do in this case. But I had no choice. This was just how she'd react in this situation.
それなら落ち込むんじゃなくて、なお一層練習に打ち込んで次のチャンスを目指すのが適当ってもんでしょうが。こういう時は練習しかないよ、練習。まあサトシ君に相手のピッチャーに小細工をしてまで勝ちたいという執念があるなら、おじさんいろいろと協力できるかもしれませんけどね。
ずるしても何の意味もないよ。
Oh, there is a point. To ruin the other team's day. Although, if you want to maintain any semblance of shame, I wouldn't get, food fetishes involved if I were you. Satoshi-kun hung his head after letting his regrets out with a big sigh. Surrender, defeat, resignation. were all visible in that gesture of his.
諦めがいいのか未練たらたらなのか。やっぱり男に生まれたからには一度くらいは晴れ舞台でスターになってみたいでしょ。
Satoshi-gun grinned and said yes.
もちろんヒーローを目指すのが花だけど、それが目的で野球をやってるわけじゃないよ。純粋にボールを投げたり打ったりするのが楽しいからやってるんだよ。ミオンでもそういうの分かるよね。
おじさんはそういうのはあんまわかんないかな。私は結果が一番であるならどんな種目でも大好きだし、一番になれないのに大好きなんてものはあんまりよくわかんないね。
もうミオンらしい答えだな。
Having realized I'm trying to make him feel better, he laughed along. He didn't look depressed anymore. I guess he was just feeling down because of the game. He wasn't as depressed as I thought. Maybe I just jumped to conclusions when I saw him sitting alone in the park. Or it's just possible that
ミ
he
オン
was...
は一番になるためにいろいろと努力をするからね。
Or maybe it's just possible that that him telling you about his botched baseball game is just only one of the things that's bothering him right now. Maybe he's just had a really bad day from start to finish.
それは偉いと思うよ。
He smiled gently and stood up. Then he started stroking my head. All of a sudden, I totally wasn't prepared for that. I thought this when he did it this last time, but how can he stroke somebody's head so easily? I felt like I had turned into a little kid. Memories from kindergarten came to mind. My face must have been red. I felt embarrassed, but also like I was in heaven. Satoshi-kun stroked me as though petting a cat. I was blushing with my eyes closed. I felt helpless, like a girl being treated by the dentist with her mouth open and her eyes shut. Satoshi-kun didn't seem to notice my feelings at all. He didn't seem to care. I hate him. With my eyes still closed, I waited for him to finish. He suddenly withdrew his hand.
じゃあ僕はそろそろ帰るよ。
Jesus Christ, were you just stroking my head for hours or something? It's already sunset.
おばさんに野球の帰りに買い物をしてくるよう頼まれてるから。
あ、
My voice faltered. I was so embarrassed. Or maybe I am actually onto something when I was saying earlier that Satoshi has a magic touch. His magic touch can make time advance forward. The hand of time.
買い物なら私も行くとこ。夕飯の買い物。
Makes me wonder if just stroking someone's head can make the day advance a few hours ahead. What would happen if he slapped somebody across the face? How far ahead in time would that take you? Well, Satoshi, there's only one person in front of you that we can test his theory on, so slap her!
あれミオも買い物するんだ。お手伝いさんが全部やってくれるって言ってなかったっけ？
I'm just kidding, of course. Please don't do that. Shoot. I messed up. In the main Sonozaki house, the maids do everything. Therefore, Mion hardly goes grocery shopping, and she's bragged to some people about that. I should have known better. Still, it wouldn't be too hard to find an excuse. I just felt like doing a little bit of my own grocery shopping, just to try out the experience. Get to know how my slaves do it.
町に遊びに来るつもりでいたから、たまに買い物を私が引き受けてきたわけよ。お分かり？
ミオンにしては珍しいね。普段はそういうのめんどくさいって言って嫌がりそうなのに。
そういうのを余計なお世話って言います。頭撫でないで。
Satoshi-kun seemed to be having fun with how embarrassed I'd get when he patted me. Anyway, I managed to talk my way out of it. He really didn't seem to care about the details. Satoshi-kun, if you were around in Chapter 2, maybe your head stroking could have saved everybody a lot of trouble. And literally saved some lives. Really is a shame that you weren't around. Damn shame indeed. While walking with Satoshi-kun in the shopping district of Kamiishiki, it suddenly occurred to me. Why had I messed up? Because you let your guard down, obviously. I'd known Mion would never go grocery shopping. What an amateurish mistake. Did I make that mistake when I was pretending to be Mion? No. I was probably speaking as Shion. I couldn't keep lying to myself. I had to just admit. It was simply because I wanted to spend as much time with Satoshi-kun as possible. It was easy to see why I was so attracted to him. I'd found something intriguing in my boring life. And I didn't have to feel tense, because he thought I was somebody else, etc., etc. His easygoing nature made him fun to be around, and his habit of petting people on the head was fun too. From these symptoms, I could tell I was embracing the feeling of love. I was just casually enjoying that feeling. It wasn't that I fell in love with him. I was just having fun. I could simply spend some fun time with Satoshi-kun without having to think too much.
ブロッコリーってどれだっけ？
Are you colorblind too?
緑だっけ？黄色だっけ？
サトシ君、そっちはカリフラワー。サトシ君ってひょっとしてキャベツとレタスの区別がつかないタイプ？
それはひどいよ。これでも精一杯区別してるつもり。
Satoshi-kun stared at the heaps of broccoli and cauliflower. After thinking for a while, he reached out for the wrong one.
それ違う。サトシ君の買い物は見ててハラハラしますね。見てるこっちは楽しいけどさ。
参ったな。サトコと一緒の時にも迷うんだよ。
Well, I guess that confirms it then. You're both colorblind.
ブロッコリーとカリフラワーはどっちが何色だっけってね。
あんたら兄弟二人揃って面白すぎです。
Sis had told me that Satoshi was a flaky big brother to his nagging little sister. I hadn't met Satoko, but she must be having a tough time dealing with Satoshi-kun. He stumbles over everything he buys, after all.
それは調理塩。胡椒とか混じってますから、卓上塩とは異なります。
え、そうなの？ほら、確か理科の実験で塩と胡椒を分離するのを確か。
言い訳はいいから棚に戻す。こっちが普通のお塩ね。で、次は？
ミオンがいてくれると 買い物が楽で助かるよ。
サトシ君、頭良さそうに見えて社会生活に支障ありすぎです。
Yet another great understatement.
もう少しお勉強した方がいいと思います。
それはひどいな。あった、これかな。ひょいひょい。
だからそれは違う。何でもカゴに放り込む前に値段と何人分かをよく確認する。
Yeah, I definitely can see why Satogo likes to nag on you a lot, because you really need to be nagged on a lot. Poor guy. My first impression of Satoshi-kun was that he was strong and reliable. But the more I spoke to him, the more surprised I was at how clumsy and unreliable he was. Well, clearly you're attracted to clumsy and unreliable. I'm sorry, that's mean of me to say. How do I put it? It was hard to leave him alone. He was dangerous on his own. If he wasn't careful, he might start wondering, do you cross the street when the light is red? Or was it green? Well, considering that he's apparently can't tell the difference between cauliflower and broccoli, I guess that is not a very unreasonable fear to have, all things considered. At first, but now that I'm thinking about it, as long as you can just see light, even if you can't see its exact color, then, well, you should know that, well, you know, top light means stop, middle light means slow the fuck down, and bottom light means stop. And get himself run over by a dump truck. Sweat drop.
1780円になります。スタンプカードはお持ちですか？
はい、あります。あれ、どこかな。
すみません。ちょっと見当たらないんで、今度でいいです。
I finished checking out, ignoring Satoshi-kun as he fished through his wallet full of receipts.
ひどいな、ミオン。スタンプちゃんと押さないともったいないよ。
あんた、夕暮れ時のお買い物ラッシュの時にのんびりと財布を漁ってスタンプカードなんか探さない。後ろに大勢待ってるんだから。私たちの後ろで海線山線のおばさま方が早くしなさいざますって目でギロギロ睨んでたの気づいてなかったんですか？
You're scared by evil glares from old ladies. Coward.
そういう時はレジ前に並んでる時からあらかじめ用意しておくの。
そうか。いいことを聞いたよ。
ちなみにここでのことだけじゃないですからね。バスに乗る時もそう。サトシ君、バスを降りようとして料金を入れる時、その時になって初めてお財布を開けて小銭をちまちまと探して後ろの人を詰まらせて待たせてるでしょう。
みんな僕を追い抜いて勝手に料金を入れてるかな。
Well, at least you're not holding up the line.
はあ。それはね、すっごーく周りに迷惑をかけているのです。そういうのはあらかじめ用意しておくのがマナー。わかりました？
わかったよ。今日のミオンは怖いな。
If you think this is scary, you've seen nothing yet. Satoshi-kun smiled as if patronizing me. I couldn't believe it. He was definitely the type who made women want to protect him. Depends on the woman. Sure, he was fine as he was when he had a busybody like me around him. But I couldn't stop worrying whether he was able to function in society without someone like that nearby. We got plastic bags and sorted out what we bought. Satoshi-kun put a pack of tofu at the bottom of the bag. I slapped his hand and put it in a milk carton instead.
はい、これで OK。 これで台所で買い物袋を広げてお母さんに仰天されなくて済みますからね。
ありがとう。助かったよ。僕はどうも買い物が苦手でさ。
Clearly.
買い物だけ正直におっしゃい。嘘嘘冗談。
I'd realized a few things while I was spending time with him today. He's not just bad at shopping. He's bad at life! He's also chronically clumsy. In general, you could call him a slow thinker. That meant, when he stepped into a quarrel with the punks, he must have needed a lot of courage. He might be a simpleton, but he's not stupid. He's aware of his weaknesses. So he must have been aware of the danger in that situation. He could have chosen to walk away even though I was in trouble. But he chose to be a man and stepped in. That was really admirable of him.
えらい
Oh
え
boy,
らい。
I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. And there it goes.
サトシ君は頑張ったよ。いい子いい子。
なんだよ。急に人の頭を撫でないでくれよ。
The stroke has been headed.
サトシ君が一人でお買い物ができましたでしょう。なでなでなで。
ミオ、僕のことすっごいバカにしてるだろ。
Yes, but you kind of deserve it.
してないしてないよ。お家一人で帰れるかな。道わかる？
やっぱりバカにしてる。
Satoshi-kun's sulky face flushed red. He's just too cute. At that point, I caught a glimpse of a billboard from the corner of my eye. Piano lessons. Call XX. Dear Lord, there's a lot of X's on that flyer. Abacus class. Junior baseball team members wanted. It was a posting for the team Satoshi-kun belonged to. And this is how you get involved with the whole thing. It showed the day, time, and place for their next practice. By then, I knew just how flaky he was. I figured he must be the same when playing baseball. Satoshi-kun realized that I was reading the posting. He looked uncomfortable and walked away.
今サトシ君は思った。頼むからミオン、野球やってるとこまで来ないでくれよ。図星？そのムーってのはつまり何さ。図星ってことでしょ。
I feel like you could make a drinking game with this. Basically, take a shot every time Satoshi goes, or just mumbles in general. Probably hospitalized by the end of the chapter. Satoshi-kun became quiet after mumbling something. Seems like he couldn't say anything back, since I had been right on the money. Satoshi-kun, you're just too cute. I don't think going silent is a good way to dodge the issue. Well, that might have just been the way innocent people like him would react in a situation like that. My apologies, I had to stretch a bit.
じゃあねサトシ君。暗くなりかけてるから気をつけて帰ってね。
ミオンは一緒に帰らないのかい？ひなみ沢。
私はもうちょっと寄るとこありますんで、気にしないで先に帰ってください。
僕の買い物を手伝ってもらったんだから、今度は僕が手伝う。
Uh-oh. You're in trouble now.
大 ていうか、サトシ君が何を手伝うおつもりで？人の手伝いする前に自分が手伝われなくて買い物できるようになっといてくださいな。
もう
Another shot.
今日のミオンはひときわ意地悪かな。
Mean but right. He seemed to have some pride at least. He looked a bit upset because he was teased by a girl. But in contrast, I felt very satisfied. As a result, I forgot to keep my guard up.
あ、でも手伝ってくれてありがとうね。本当に助かったから。
Satoshi, stop. You'll make it nightfall if you stroke her head again. Nice noise. While wearing a bright smile, Satoshi-kun suddenly started stroking my head again. I know he's teasing me, but I can't reject him. He keeps doing it only because he's realized I won't resist. Oh.
じゃあね、ミオン。暗くならないうちに用事を済ませてね。また明日学校で。
あ、うん。また明日学校でね。
In fact, I wouldn't see him tomorrow at all. It felt awkward, but I had to settle for that. I had to thank Sis for letting me use her name. Well, looks like you just managed to dodge a bullet. Lucky you. After I separate from him, I found myself giddy and wishing to see him again as soon as possible. I wanted to know more about him. I couldn't wait for my next chance to see him. Actually, maybe there was something I could do. Just like when I obtained my freedom from St. Lucia's, I could choose how to live my life. Whatever. It wasn't that complicated. I just wanted to tease him more. I wanted to have struck my head more. And... whatever. I already know the schedule for his baseball team. I think you need to take into consideration how joining his baseball team might make maintaining your carefully planned schedule a bit more difficult. Just saying, Shion. New tips unlocked. A crumpled diary. Well, we've graduated from smudged to strip crumpled. This is definitely not going to be a good one. Alright. Here we go. My aunt finally stopped her hysterical screaming. Today was just like any other day. I can't remember what set her off. Whatever it was, she changed subjects constantly anyway. It didn't matter. One of those people, huh? She went on past midnight again. The urge to sleep was pounding the back of my head. Once Satoko had been able to relax, she fell down on the spot and started sleeping, still clinging to my sleeve. I carried Satoko to the bedroom and laid out our futons.
ほら、サトコ。布団が敷けたよ。布団に入りな。
Satoko crawled in like a worm. She stopped moving once she was inside. I wished I could go to bed too. But I couldn't. My aunt asked me to do some chores. I had to get toothpaste after school tomorrow. I had to write it down somewhere. I had to make rice for lunch tomorrow. I set the timer. Right, I also had to repile the towels in the bathroom. That was the reason for today's scolding. Jesus Christ, that's... Something that tiny is able to cause that much of a reaction. She definitely needs psychological help. My aunt will get mad if everything isn't done the way she wants. Well, then again, considering that she ends up dying later, at least that'll be a burden off the potential psychiatrist that would have to deal with her. So, net positive? Oh, and there was something else. I was working at the grocery store the next day. They wanted me to bring an apron. Do we even have an apron in this house? I've never seen one. My aunt will be sleeping when I go to school, so I won't have time to ask her. What should I do? Since Mion helped me get that job, I don't want to screw it up. In that case, why don't I ask Mion about it at school? She might lend me one. Was there anything else? I was envious of Satoko, because she got to go to bed. It was pathetic that I felt that way. Well, Shion is definitely taking a serious liking to this guy already. Pretty damn fast. Definitely does add some context to a lot of her negative reactions to whenever she heard somebody talk about Satoshi's transfer back during the question arcs. She she does not like anybody talking negatively about her sweetheart. You know what? I think I'll go ahead and end things here. I guess we can see whether or not Shion's actually going to join the baseball team in the next episode. We know that she's going to, but I don't know if it'll actually happen in the next episode. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this latest episode of Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 2. Chapter 5. Excuse me, I got the numbers mixed up. If you enjoyed it and you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I will see you all next time. Take care.